Tottenham, Nottingham Forest and West Ham. And although they're highest in the table right now, 52% went for Tottenham. Believe it or not. Well, we've got a Spurs fan on now in Chris Cowlin. Chris, can you believe it? 52% are voting that they think you are more likely to go down ahead of Forest or West Ham.
Tim, good morning to you. No, I'm not at all surprised by that stat because when you look at Spurs picking up only 4 points in the calendar year of 2026, of course losing 5 games as well, and when you look at the likes of West Ham, they've picked up 11 points, Forest 9 and Burnley 7. So every team around us at the moment are picking up a lot more points, and another very painful defeat on Sunday against rivals Arsenal, and things need to dramatically change. But what I would say is we just need to get this game under the carpet now and focus on the next 11 games, because Spurs need Premier League status and Igor Tudor has been brought in to do a job, and these players need to knuckle down and be up and ready for this fight.
Chris, what do you make of it yesterday?
I thought the first half was a lot better than what we've seen under Thomas Frank. A very disappointing second half, but of course the quality of Arsenal, shone through. And we do have 10 injuries. These are not excuses. And I thought the refereeing decision for the second Cowlin goal was absolute disgrace. I thought that the dive of Gabriel was a disgrace. But overall, Arsenal shone through quality. And as I said, we just need to focus now on these next 11 games.
And what do you make of him playing 3 at the back, with one of them being a centre midfield player in Paulinho?
Well, we haven't really got any choice, do we, at the moment?
You can go 4 at the back.
Well, he's come in, but I mean the players available at the moment, 10 injured players.
Yeah, we go 4 at the back. Why are you playing players out of position? I didn't understand it. It didn't work. I mean, it was miles off it, Paulinho playing in that position. And that's a player I admire who does everything for the cause. If you want 11 players with the mentality of Paulinho, you've got a chance of getting safe. That player will give everything, but not as a centre-back. He'll do his best there, but he's not a centre-half.
I think the stats, if I remember rightly, Tim, when they were showed on Sky Sports, it was over 100 times in the top 5 leagues where Igor Tudor has managed, and he's always played a back 3. I think it was only on 4 occasions where he played a back 4. So Spurs knew exactly what they were bringing in. Yeah. But like I said, I don't think that we should be keep going on about yesterday's game. We know the quality of Arsenal. We know where Spurs are right now. It is full focus now on these next 11 games to stay in the Premier League.
Well, the next 2 games I think are crucial, because you're going to miss Romero for the next 2 as well. So I'm not sure if Danzo's going to be back. So I hope he goes to Fulham and doesn't play with 3 at the back with Paulinho in there, because I think it gives them a leg up, and especially in the home game against Palace. If you lose them 2 games, it's properly in it, Chris.
Fulham away next, then Palace at home on the Thursday after that,
But you're absolutely right, Tim. The players do need to be up for the fight, and they need to be ready, and they need to be, bang on it. There were some players yesterday. It didn't look like they were even listening to Igor Tudor and his instructions.
I was on that.
We've been through so many different managers, in recent times. In the last 10 months, Postecoglou, of course Thomas Frank, and now Igor Tudor. So some of these players don't know whether they're coming or going, but they need to be with the manager. The manager has been brought in to do this job, and they need to be together at the moment. Yeah,
they need to hurt. If they get relegated, they need to feel it as much as them fans do. But I'm afraid, when I look at them, I'm not sure a lot of them do. They've got more chance of leaving that football club if they're in the Championship than they are if they're in the Premier League.
Does that worry you?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, if that's the attitude of some of the players, we don't know if it is, but if that's the attitude of some of the players, I want to go and I've got more chance of leaving if we go down. Does that worry you?
Of course it worries me. I've had a sleepless night actually thinking where on earth are our next points coming from, because when you look at some of these fixtures, like you've mentioned, Fulham away, that is not an easy game. Crystal Palace at home, Liverpool away, Forest at home. what is an easy game at the moment for Spurs in the Premier League? There isn't one. But as I keep saying, the team need to knuckle down, and they need to give absolutely everything, because the crowd yesterday, there are so many dejected fans right now, and people are really, really feeling it. And it is a reality. It is really real that Spurs could go down. Where are the next points coming from?
How many points do you think you're going to need? Whoever finishes 17th, how many points do you think they're going to need?
Well, I think we need at least 4 wins. And, when you look at some of our fixtures...
That takes you to 41 points.
Yeah, I think that would be enough.
Yeah, certainly. I think 3.
Three wins would do it. So that would take you to exactly 38 points, so a point a game. And you think that would be enough?
But then again, we don't know, because like I mentioned earlier, when you look at Spurs only picking up 4 points, the gap has been, West Ham have picked up 11, Forest 9, Burnley even 7. So a lot more, those teams are picking up a lot more points from Spurs at the moment, and that is really, really worrying.
Chris, let's say we're in the Premier League next year, and I believe we will be. Right, let's go to bed tonight and have a good night's sleep, pal. It'll be okay. And then we can worry about, we get some players back to fitness, we can have a chance to win in Europe again, where not a lot of teams do. Right? So if we got Pochettino next season, he's never going to be stronger than now. If Poch wants that job, he's going to get the job. He needs to call the shots from the outset. He needs to say, I need £500 million and I need you to clear the decks of bang average players, what you've accumulated here over the years. Which players out of the group what we have at the moment would you keep? And that probably, I know that's not going to be a long question. That'd be a short answer, I would presume.
Well, I think it's who wants to stay as well, Tim. Who wants to stay at a club where they haven't got Champions League football? Players like Mickey van der Ven, you'd obviously want to keep, and you'd want them to stay at the football club. But, these players have ambition. They want to be playing European football. They want to be playing, the best football in Europe.
But that's Mickey. Chris, that's Mickey. I agree with you on him. Who else can dominate and play in Champions League football at the moment? Who?
Well, you'd certainly want to keep our best players like Romero, etc. But what I was going to say
would you keep Romero?
I would keep Romero, absolutely. Yeah.
You think he's more of a strength than a hindrance?
I do. I think that you need to keep our top players at the football club. But what I was going to say, when you've mentioned Mauricio Pochettino, it doesn't matter which manager you bring in unless the football club change their ways and change the way that we are doing things. Because how many times have we been talking about different managers, 6 permanent managers since we moved in that stadium in 2019, 4 interim appointments? We cannot keep going round in circles like this. The football club need to change the way that they're doing things. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here in 12 months' time having exactly the same conversation.
So just 2 players, Mickey and Romero, yeah? You ain't got to worry about anyone else trying to play in the Champions League, because no one else is going to take him and play in the Champions League. And what's happened to the academy? Have they closed that down?
It depends, Tim, what the ambition is. The club keeps saying that we want to be fighting on all fronts. We want to be a top side. We want to be fighting for the top prizes. We can't fight for the top prizes if the recruitment is constantly poor. It needs to be a lot better. And, you go back to, saying about the academy. In the last couple of years, the academy have won many trophies. In my opinion, and I watched the academy a lot.
Who cares if they win trophies? It's not about winning trophies at academy level. It's about developing players and pushing them towards the first team. That is where the trophy is.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I could see that was your point, Chris. I couldn't resist it.
There are so many different managers that have come in at the football club, and I watch the academy a lot. And going back to Pochettino would always drive over to Stevenage to watch the academy. None of these previous managers in recent times have watched the academy or given them a real chance, and that is a real shame.
They should be told to go.
It's your specialist subject, that, Tim, isn't it, about getting players from the academy into the first team?
And that comes from the top. It's the structure of the club, the DNA of the football club. There is no DNA at that football club.
Chris, next time we get you on, Chris, I hope you're in a happier mood. Thank you.
Cheers, Chris.
Thank you.
So we know it's a great title race in the Premier League.